to plan.
Hello everyone. I hope you liked that little clip of MASH and the one episode character that talked about planning. I know, I should have done this video back at the beginning of the school year, but really, teachers don't have that much control over what their administrators choose. So if you're a homeschooler, and I do not suggest homeschooling, but if you are, you have options with making your own planners. There are things that you can find at Staples where you can get this rigid binder clip. What this one that I'm referring to, and I think most of the other pages that I've kind of scanned into my computer for safekeeping for later, are all made by this Schoolmate company. So I really like them. They really know what they're doing for various levels. The one I'm going to spend the most amount of time with actually came from one of my internships, practicums. This is from Solomon Schechter Day School in West Hartford, Connecticut. And it actually comes from the year 2014 to 2015 for the elementary school level. What I really want to talk about with this planner is how I like there's a clear plastic cover which is there to protect the planner as it stays with the student throughout the school year, and it protects the next page. Now, I'm not going to show you the next page because I don't think it's relevant. It does show the school's name, the year of the academic school year, but I think that it's really important to customize the page under the clear plastic to show who that student is and what their likes, dislikes are. This is an activity that they do in art class. It's an activity they do in writing class. It's an activity that they do in so many things in school. So you're really losing a possibility by not taking full advantage of that. In the back of this planner, it does have one of those pages. The Tidbits page, which falls out on page 103, shows a picture of the student if they choose to put one in or if they can't afford it. Some schools are not as well financed as others. So you might just want to have a camera and take a picture of each student with, of course, parental permissions at the beginning of the school year. All about me, favorites, forever friends, which we're going to know aren't forever, class memories, and how much is it? The how much is it is kind of like one of those books that you buy at the card store that says, how much things were back when you were born. Back to the front of the planner. It's important for young students to know exactly how you expect them to use this planner. Don't just give them a tool and say, here you go, use it. They need to know what are you expecting from them, laid out on the line. So in this planner, it states over here, write down all assignments, check off the assignments when completed. So there's a little box to the right-hand side where you write a little check mark when you finished an assignment. Call attention to dates. This one is really interesting because if you have a test, it shows you to do a little T with a circle around it. I think that's really cute and clever and something that all students can understand and relate to. Keep track of all other activities. Say you're a busy student and you have game practice, you have band practice, you have, I don't know, horse riding lessons, you have religious practices that you need to do. Keep track of all of that down in the comment section. Then at the very bottom of each day, there's a line drawn for parent and teacher comments where they can have a constant rapport back and forth as long as this thing isn't lost or left at school. But just make sure your students bring their planners home with them. On the same page as using your planner guide, just to the right-hand side of this planner belongs to name, grade, homeroom number, and phone number, there's time management tips. I love time management tips because students can really always use this, even teachers too. Use your student planner to record assignments, appointments, music lessons, activities, events, and other things. To manage time at school, your teacher should be on this, but record assignments and things to remember. Work on assignments due in the future. That's a key one. Ask your teacher for help if you're having trouble. Say, use the ask three then me rule. Avoid missing school unless you are sick. I don't know if that's a time management thing, but it can become that way in the future. I'm going to skip one of them to come back to. Manage time at home. Do the hardest work first. The rest will be easier. Get to work right away and avoid distractions. Create a routine. Do homework at a specific time each day. And check off completed assignments. Now, I would like to say, okay, that's it, next page, but schoolmate, I have a bone to pick with you. In here, it clearly states good times to work on assignments include waiting for the bus ride or at the end of class if you have no other homework. I'm sorry, but I completely disagree with both of these. Waiting for the bus, you're not focusing, you're thinking of other things. You don't want to miss your bus and have to call home. Maybe you don't have a cell phone, maybe you do. Maybe you don't know your parents' numbers, maybe you do. All these things. End of class, you've been learning all day. Do you really want to work on more work, or do you want to quietly catch up with your friends before it's time to go home? You need to let your brain have a break. So go ahead, and I say it's okay. Give yourself that well-deserved break. So in this next picture of this page, I'm going to black out all of that. It's always good to know that you have to set goals and work towards achieving them. And this is a 2-page spread pretty much in the planner. It explains setting goals and taking steps to accomplish them will help you succeed. This takes planning, drawing attention to the fact that these planners are really important, which means taking control of what you do, how you do it, and when you do it. So I really like that, especially because I didn't know that goals were important until I was in middle school, and this is meant for elementary school grades. So at the bottom of that page, there's a 5-step process to reaching your goals, which I really like. Switching over to the next side are study skills, which I had a class in 6th grade devoted to teaching you how to use study skills. And the acronym that they chose reminded my parents of in-school suspension, ISS. So I thought that that was hilarious. Oh no, I'm studying for ISS. I don't have ISS. All right. I do have another tiny bone to pick with it. Flashcards. To draw attention to flashcards means that a lot of students think that is the end-all be-all of learning. It's not. Flashcards are the equivalent of the lowest form of Bloom's taxonomy of knowledge. It's just rote memorization. There's no higher order thinking, and therefore it's not the best form of learning something. So I guess that's why it falls on us as teachers to raise it up, and we're only expecting our students to reinforce that learning by the lowest level. So it's just food for thought. So now that we've discussed some goal setting and some study skills, what other academic things can we focus our students' minds on? And during the school day, while we are trying to teach a lesson with resources that they already have, and they have a question, teacher, can you explain this? Say, you already have it, check your planner for those resources. In math section, we have vocabulary words, prime numbers, common factor, greatest common factor, etc. Roman numerals, which are those I's, the X's, the L's, the B's, all that good stuff. The symbols, addition, multiplication, subtraction, graders, degrees, etc. We've got money. We have fractions. On the second page, because there's too much to put on just one page visually and to not make your head explode, we have the multiplication chart up to 10, which I think at 5th grade I had to learn at least up to 12. The measurement system, English and metric, which is good if you're taking some kind of home ec class. Time, you should know this, I think 3rd grade. Shapes and angles, and these include 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional. And your angles, we've got right, obtuse, acute, and straight angle.
While a student of mine was digging in her backpack for a pen, I put on the corner of her desk a pen, but she didn't see me do it. So when I walked to the other side of the classroom and she raised her hand, still not seeing the pen that I had put on her desk, and asked, "Mr. Mali, do you mind if I borrow a pen from you?" I went, "You already possess everything you require to succeed, including a pen." Whoosh. For a second, she still did not see the pen that I had put on her desk, but said instead, "Mr. Mali, you are probably the weirdest teacher I have ever had. Could you please just loan me a..." Oh my gosh! You're a miracle worker. How did you do that? And I wanted to say all I did was give you what I knew you needed before you knew you needed it. So thank you for the compliment, but education is the miracle. I'm just the worker. I'm a teacher, and that's what we do.
There's a push in modern politics for language arts skills to be very strong. Therefore, in this version at least, there's 3 pages devoted to language arts, starting with parts of speech, the writing process, which changes based on your source and your age level in academics. There's punctuation guidelines, which is pretty cool. Second page, contractions. I think I learned that in 2nd grade. Literary terms, which obviously there's more as you go along. You can see that in the Common Core. Abbreviations. There are tips for spelling, paragraph writing, and book reports. Third page, we have troublesome words, which I like the idea of growing that list on your own instead of giving that to them. So just have a blank piece of paper or a notepad in them that they can make their own list. Plurals, which some of those rules are kind of hard to navigate through. And I love this planner because it also has the sign language alphabet. So you might not be able to speak in sign language, but at least you'll know some letters. I always wondered why at the back of planners they choose to put your maps and other social studies sources. I get that the world is ever changing. It's not like it has a population chart here because it keeps changing, but for the most part, it's pretty consistent. So why can't that be in the facts at the beginning of the book? I don't know. But this one on page 101 has the world map, and page 102 has the North American map. And the North American map I love because it has the time zones and a compass, which all maps should have, and it breaks it down into countries as well as states. So that was pretty interesting to me. This planner's actual agenda, the blank spaces where students write their assignments and various goings on of the day, week, etc., are broken down into the 5 days of the week with space on the very bottom for Saturday and Sunday. Each day is broken further down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections for language arts reading, math, science, and social studies. Each little individual block is 2 1/4 inches lengthwise and 1 3/4 inches height-wise, with the little check mark gap being 1/8 of an inch. So it's all completely thought out. On the left-hand side of the page, we have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and scrolling up to the very bottom, underneath the parent-teacher comment section with initials for have you seen it, haven't you seen it, there's a little box that I want to draw everyone's attention to called reading. You can notice your reading by the minutes that you've read or the pages that you've read. And this has each day of the week and a special section for totals. So I thought that was a pretty good self-check for students to do. And it's good for their math skills if they can add everything up together. I thought that was pretty interesting. As the years go on, you could even say, okay, now that you've added all your minutes, find out how many hours that makes. Or find out how many fraction of a day. So you can grow their math skills while they're doing their reading skills. On the right-hand side of that left-hand page, we have a word of the week with the dictionary definition. The first one in this planner from 2014 to 2015 is edict, which is a noun for a law or order made or given by an authority. So it is my edict to get you to work harder. On the right-hand side of each page, we have the monthly calendar. So if an event is coming up this month, but you don't see it on this week, you may not be prepared for it if you don't circle it on the little tiny calendar that you see on the right-hand side. Teachers should draw attention to this every single week and make sure that everything is circled on that upper calendar. Circle it in red, circle it in a color that you'll notice and say, hey, something's coming up. I need to prepare. Under that, a reminder of your weekly goals. And under that, spelling words. I like that because if you're using your planner every single day and you have a spelling test on Friday, you're going to be seeing those words every single day. At the very bottom of that, you have a variable. I like that you're always surprised by what it could be. It could be a science fact or a science quiz with multiple choice, a definition of a word by multiple choice through fill in the blank. It can be a brain teaser, which everybody needs every now and again, gets you thinking and uses those higher order skills that I talked about. Or character builders, which are more social skill building concepts. I didn't really like reading them, but I see the value in them as a, other side of the desk person. So I didn't think that this planner had enough resources, believe it or not, and I've saved a bunch from various different planners and things throughout the years, two of which I'm going to share here. One is a forgotten homework pass. Now, this forgotten homework pass I think should be added into the planner because it forms some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. If students lost their homework or forgot it, they can see a finite set of homework passes and notice, I need to be responsible and reliable with my homework for the next time around. As you can see, I don't have a full sheet and I never thought to make a copy of it before I started using them, but this is what I'm talking about right here. I have stickers for the big game if you're a sports fan or going to the games for support. I have a no school sticker for those PTO days. I have a large purple check mark for a test, or sunglasses for like a spring or a summer break. I have a star, which you can choose what that is for. Important, so it might be return the book on time to the library or return a field trip form, anything of that kind. Study stickers, which I never really used, but it goes without saying you should be studying every day. Don't forget sticker, which looks kind of cool. I used it very infrequently. Assignment due. This is for the upper grades that you could be assigned something for months in the future, but that date comes up quickly if you don't have it planned on your planner. Study group. Maybe you're meeting out of school for a group project or meeting to study something for a big test. And then the fun party, party. I love all of these. I wish I still had the name of the company that makes it. I bet it is School Smart or Schoolmate. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you subscribe. Don't forget to go to the links in the description to find pictures of all of these pages that I really like.